So several years ago at BMT, our on-premise VoIP system was showing its age. While we could bring our desk phones home or run an app on a remote PC, there was no smartphone app available. Plus, with an on-premise system, we knew if the power or internet went out for a couple of days, our phones would be down. We looked at several platforms at the time, and RingCentral came out on top. Now, RingCentral is a key part of our business continuity plan. While a lot of businesses' communication happens through email these days, we still see clients pick up the phone when they need something addressed quickly, right, when there's some urgency to it. And we believe being able to take that call, no matter what, a snowstorm, hurricane, or yes, unfortunately, a global pandemic, is still really important to be able to take those calls. And RingCentral allows us to do just that. We've been using the service for about 3 years now, and we're continuously impressed by the call quality RingCentral provides. As a quick example, just the other day, I was on a RingCentral call on my mobile phone at the house. I had to bring my son to school to pick up his laptop. As I drove away from the house, my phone disconnected from my Wi-Fi and switched to the carrier network. If I was using my default phone app, I would have definitely lost that call because I've lost them in the past. But with RingCentral, I heard a few short tones to let me know my call hadn't dropped, and then I was reconnected with my call. My client happened to be speaking at the time and had no idea the transfer took place. But even if I was speaking, I think those couple of tones would have let me pause. And again, wouldn't have dropped that call. I was able to continue speaking to this client. So we also happened to save money by going to RingCentral. We had some older PRI lines and some POTS lines or analog lines that were costing us a fortune. So RingCentral really was a win-win for us. So we appreciate RingCentral putting this webinar on today so our clients and associates can learn how RingCentral can improve their business communications. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Sam.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Sam Thompson, and I am the Senior Partner Field Sales Trainer for RingCentral. I'm supporting the East region. And I'm going to talk a little bit today about what RingCentral brings to the table from a UCAS perspective. And my counterpart, Zach Young, who's a Senior Account Executive on the contact center side of the business, is going to talk about what RingCentral brings to the table from a contact center and a customer experience perspective. So I'm going to go through my slides first, and then I'm going to hand it over to Zach. So as we all know, we've all been suffering or living through a global pandemic. And I like to think that there is a silver lining in every cloud that comes. So some things that have happened, 75 million people around the globe have been impacted by COVID-19. And it's really kind of affected all of us. But some of the good things that have happened is that CFOs who have historically not been so gung-ho on the cloud communications or cloud collaborations platforms have started to see that this is a positive thing for them, and it is a way to keep a business viable and thriving through no matter what circumstances or situations are thrown their way. Gartner did a survey, and they surveyed 314 CFOs around the US and Canada. And 74% of those CFOs said that they intend to shift between 10 and 18% of their previously on-premise workforce to a permanently remote workforce. So that's a really big shift, and 18 to 20% of their workforce going home on a permanent basis is a really big shift in the thought process and the way that they see business. Another thing that we found out from that Gartner report is that 41% of people said, yeah, I'd like to work remote at least sometimes. It's a benefit to me. It's a convenience. It gives me some flexibility. And my productivity is higher when I am working remote. So 85% of businesses confirmed that they've seen an increase in productivity because their workforce is at home. Cloud gives you that type of flexibility to allow your workforce to be wherever they need to be, but still be productive to you and for the business. The way that RingCentral addresses that connectivity to internal customers as well as external customers, we like to call it MVP. So message, video, phone. And we kind of look at it that way because we've seen a shift in the way that we communicate as people. A lot more messaging being done. Video allows for those remote employees to still have a human connection back into their leadership as well as to their peers. So it allows you to still have some face-to-face contact, even though you may be in several different places. And then the phone. The phone is never going to go away because sometimes there's a disconnect between the keyboard and my brain, and we just need to talk out a situation, especially if it's complex or a little bit complicated. So talking to each other is always going to be a good thing. So let's look at each one of these a little bit separately. In regards to messaging, it's text-based, team-based messaging, utilizing a text kind of profile, if you will. And what I love about it on the RingCentral platform is that, one, there's no size limitation. So if you think about when you're trying to send emails, I'm a trainer, so I create a lot of PowerPoints. And if I'm trying to share that with my peers, sometimes if I do it through Outlook, I get that box that pops up and says, this exceeds your size limitations. But if I send it through the RingCentral application, I never get any message like that. So it doesn't matter about the size. The other great thing is that it's always there. So if someone else joins the training team and they need to see decks that we've created in the past, they're still going to be out there and that person will be able to access them. The information is in real time. I can even put my calendar in there. So the tasks that I need to perform on a daily basis or different projects that I'm a part of, I can have all of that in there, really almost eliminating the need for me to ever go in Outlook. I can control my entire day from the messaging app or the RingCentral application. And it integrates with other things that I might need to work with during the course of the day. In regards to video, I love our video because it can be one-to-one, which my supervisor and I do on a weekly basis, just so that we can see each other and reconnect since we've been separated. But it also allows one-to-many. So on the RingCentral platform, you can have as many as 100 people on a video. Now, I'll be honest, I have never had a 100-person video. I think it would be a little bit crazy to kind of manage all those folks, but I have been on videos that have had 50, 60 folks on there, and it has worked out really, really well. So it's a way for if you've got a project team and you guys all kind of need to see each other and you want to share documents and collaborate on how to get things done, you can totally do that with the RingCentral solution. And again, doesn't matter where everyone is, you're still on the same platform and it allows for you to share those documents and stay connected. The other benefit to video with RingCentral is that you don't have 50,000 pop-ups. You don't have to put your name in every single time. Once you've gone in there, it pretty much remembers you and will allow you access in the next time. If this is on your business's platform, you can even have a bridge or an ID that's assigned to video that's always yours. So if anyone's joining a meeting that you schedule, you can say, hey, use my personal bridge. That's how they'll identify you. So I really love the convenience and the ease of use of the video with RingCentral. As in regards to the phone, it's an enterprise-grade cloud PBX. So it's phone, business phone as you've known it. You still have your 4-digit dialing. Toll-free is supported, vanity numbers and local numbers. If you're doing business outside the US, international is also included in there. We support IVRs, and there's a QoS analytics. So it allows for each individual to see how they're doing from a voice perspective, see what types of calls, and there's a little phone icon that lets me see my inbound calls, my missed calls, my voicemails that have come in, all of that in a single space. So again, one place to go for all of the different ways that I may need or want to communicate. One of the key differentiators of RingCentral is our ability to integrate. We have over 200 out-of-the-box integrations that we do on a day-to-day basis. In addition to that, we've done about 2,500 or so custom integrations. And these are one-offs or things that customers needed that were specific to their business and their needs. We have access to over 25,000 developers, so if there's something unique that your business needs or wants, if we can't build it in-house, we can cast a wider net so we can build that better mousetrap for you. And analytics, for any business that's making a transition or making a change, you're going to want to know that the platform is operating for you. You want to know the performance. You're going to want to know how things are really going. And we have analytic tools that allows for you to see what endpoints are working. You can see what features are being utilized more frequently. What ISPs are you connected to? So you can identify who the administrator is going to be. Maybe it's a member of your IT team. You can have more than one, but they're able to see what's going on and manage the solution just as you would in a premise-based solution without the headache of having to fix any hiccups. However, the RingCentral solution is highly reliable, so those hiccups will be few and far between. The other beautiful thing, though, is that in the event that there is a challenge with the platform or with the solution, there's only one place to call. So it's not one of those situations where you've got multiple vendors and all of these vendors are pointing fingers at each other going, it's not on me, it's not on me. It's always going to be on us, and we will get the problem rectified quickly for you. RingCentral is highly secure. We have security at every single level. So your data is secure, your customers' data is secure. You can feel confident in the platform and in the infrastructure. I do want to point out on the bottom, we are a high trust certified company, and that high trust certification basically means that we've gone through a rigorous process of being evaluated, and that happens on an annual basis. And they take a look at all of the security measures we put into place. They look at our data centers, they look at all of our components, and they gave us a thumbs up. What that also does for us is that any additional certifications or requirements that may come down the pike, we're at the front of the line to get those things. So again, that reliability and the security of your information is safe on a RingCentral platform. This just gives us an example of some of the different departments that could really benefit from a cloud-based solution and get great benefits. I am not going to go through all of these because I want to allow plenty of time for Zach to talk about our contact center, but I will point out HR because I think they get the most bang for the buck. Think about it from this perspective. With HR, in the past, they were somewhat limited in hiring the closest possible person. With a cloud-based solution, where the employee actually physically is not as big of a consideration. So you can cast a much wider net and hire the best qualified person you can find, not necessarily the closest. The other thing that you can do is, let's say you've got 5 or 6 folks that are starting on the same day. You can go into the RingCentral application, create a team in the messaging environment, and have all of the documents that they need to complete on day one. So as they're onboarding, you can have their documents saved into this particular team for these individuals. You can also assign to them different tasks that they need to complete the first week or 2 that they're out there, and then they can check off when they've completed it, which allows HR and or their supervisors to keep track of their progress in the onboarding process. You can even assign links to web-based classes or online classes that you want them to complete before maybe they go into a live classroom, if that's an option or an available option for your environment. So this really allows for HR to get a great big bang. And we all know that even though we're in different places, you need to have one-on-ones periodically, merit increases, or if there are jobs internally, they can still do all of their tasks utilizing video, utilizing phone, utilizing messaging that the RingCentral platform provides to them. So it's really, they're an organization that I think can fully embrace and fully benefit from all of the tools and all of the functionality of the RingCentral UCaaS solution. I could go through and give some examples for all of these, but in the essence of time, I'm going to just go through how we empower you on the UCaaS side and let Zach speak to you from there. We want to make sure that your employees are productive anywhere they happen to be. We do that by providing a single solution, and that solution is easy and reliable. We want your employees to feel empowered, and so we give them real-time collaboration tools to allow them to connect both with their internal customers and peers, as well as your external customers. And it's easy to set up. You have the analytics and the insight into the platform that you need to feel confident that you've made a great decision in making that cloud leap. We integrate with the business tools that you need, and we can, if we don't currently integrate with them, we can build an integration for you. With that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Zach Young to talk about our contact center offerings.
All right, thank you, Sam. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, good. So yeah, I'm here to talk about Collaborative Contact Center. So it's that foundation that Sam already went through of RingCentral Office, where we want to bring those unified communication tools, not just to the back office, but to the agents, and then we can also extend that to the contact center. So that's really our mission in life, is to make sure that the agent experience is there, so that way we can promote a better customer experience. Next slide. And customer experience in 2020 is more important than ever. In fact, according to some studies that I've read, it's actually now more important than your price or your perceived value. That the experience a customer has with you and your company is really going to dictate whether or not they remain a customer and tell all their friends about it. And you can see that the change has been quite dynamic. We went from a very company-centric service where it was always dictated by the hours, and very well may have been just voice only. It was very reactive. It was time-consuming. And now the customer rules, and it needs to be 24/7 support, using any digital channel. Proactive is great, right? Let me know about my appointment. Make sure you remind me of different things. You want to have that full picture, a 360 view of the customer. So if I'm talking to Sam, I have the same experience as I would if I was talking to Stu. Everybody in the organization has all the information they need. I want to be treated like an individual, and it should be effortless. Next slide. And this slide really shows you the importance of what we just looked at. Customers are in a hurry, and they are not going to be leave around a bad experience. They're not going to forget that. That could be a more fatal than ever experience if you have a bad experience. Next slide. This one builds out. Yep. So whether it's in person, on the phone, or online, every experience matters. And online shouldn't be a second-class experience. We want to give our customers the same tools, whether we're doing business in any of these environments. And the sum of the customer interaction should leave a trail that influences the decisions of your next customer. So think of things like Yelp or Amazon reviews or YouTube comments. I know as a consumer, I spend way too much time in the rabbit hole that can be an Amazon review to see if this is a product that more than, that most people think is a good one, or what were some of the bad experiences that I made to take into account. So these are things our customers are doing when they're reviewing us as well. We want to make sure that we're giving them those great experiences. Next slide. And this is where RingCentral comes into play. So in most UCaaS and CCaaS solutions, UCaaS and CCaaS are very siloed. And that creates a number of problems. It's harder to get customer questions answered. So that's going to decrease the first contact resolution, because the agent needs time off the phone to do research or chase down people down to answer just difficult questions. It's also going to have a limited understanding of customer needs and issues beyond the contact center. Those who are in the back office, whether they're in marketing or sales or administration or operations, are not going to have the same view of the customer as our customer service agents might be, or our technical support people, because they're not using the same tools. So if we go to the next slide, what RingCentral brings to the play is the combination of that UCaaS and CCaaS into one unified system. And that's going to give us collaboration, flexibility, and agility. So you're going to have that single user interface, that true omni-channel agent experience. One directory for all employees, not two separate systems. We're going to be able to collaborate via message, video, and phone. The MVP that Sam mentioned earlier, we're going to extend that to their contact center agents as well. They, just like everybody else, wants to be able to see their teammates on video meetings. Maybe they even escalate the video with a customer if they need to be shown what the customer is seeing. Think about a mortgage. If you ever sign for a mortgage, there's a lot of paperwork you have to sign. Where do I have to put my signature? Where do I put my initials? What if I could show the customer where to do that right via video? I could cut down the length of time it does to complete that transaction. There's experts all across the company. Whether you're in customer service or you're in engineering, we all should be customer focused and customer facing. And by giving our customer service agents and tech support folks or salespeople access to experts, now we can get those first call resolutions done because we can get those questions answered. And then we're going to have all the history reporting there that you could ever need and help you make faster decisions and get answers. Next slide. And so there, you absolutely do get maximum contact center performance when agents use unified communications. According to Aberdeen research, as you can see here, you have a 16.4% agent productivity improvement year over year when the agents are using the same UC platform as the rest of the house. That also makes 11.8% increase in customer satisfaction and an 8.5% increase in first contact resolution year over year. So it's definitely a tried and true methodology that a lot of times when customers are migrating from on-prem, they lose that when they go to the cloud, and that's not something you're going to lose when you have RingCentral. Next slide. So we talked about everything that RingCentral does before. So on the right-hand side, the cloud PBX, the call, the meetings, that was all the UCaaS side of the shop. And then on the other side, we have our customer engagement side of the shop. And we have specialized tools for outbound customer engagement. So if all you're doing is focusing on making dials for sales or for collections, we have some great tools for that. We have a complete suite of digital customer experience. So all the channels you can think of, email, web chat, Facebook Messenger, SMS, WhatsApp, so on and so forth. And then we have an inbound contact center, omni-channel, that provides everything you could ever need for a customer. So you have that one omni-channel experience, inbound, outbound, really the jack of all trades. And all very much connected to our RingCentral office. Next slide, please. So that's our customer engagement portfolio. We have our blended outbound voice, which is our RingCentral Engage Voice. We have our digital customer service, which is our RingCentral Engage Digital. And then our omni-channel integrated WFO solution, which is RingCentral Contact Center, which is based on the NICE inContact platform. Next slide. So RingCentral Contact Center is the one we will concentrate on most because it's the one that is probably most fully baked and ready to solve a lot of our customer problems. But we really believe that happy agents equal happy customers. So we're going to give all of your agents all the tools they need to do that. They're going to have omni-channel routing. It's built on compliance. So we have all the same compliance that we have on the other platforms that we talked about earlier. We're also going to do things like PCI compliance. So we can even do FedRAMP. There's all the pre-built CRM integrations we talked about with RingCentral Office. We can extend that to the contact center as well because it's very open, very secure. You're going to have all sorts of analytics available. And then we have the entire workforce optimization suite available from NICE, where you can do things like workforce management. You can do quality management, word spotting with analytics, really understand the trends that are going in within your contact center. Next slide. It's all built on one platform. So it's the shared architecture between Office, the message, video, and phone, and contact center. It's all the same architecture. So it's active, resilient data centers that we're sharing between all of our different sites, whether you're in the US or global. Built on so all those interactions are going to be handled via Workforce Optimization Suite. Our breadth of functionality helps companies consolidate functionality and significantly reduce the number of vendors they need to manage. That's another important point with contact center is that the typical contact center customer has up to 20 different vendors they're talking to. And that's for things like PRI and SIP, the workforce management, the contact center ACD, the physical phones, the messaging apps, whatever it might be. We're going to consolidate that down to one vendor, which is RingCentral. Next slide. So we're breaking those silos and having those unified solutions unified with RingCentral Contact Center. The key ones I want to mention are ones in the middle. So it's the global telephony piece. One key factor that we do with RingCentral Contact Center that makes it different from NICE inContact directly or a lot of the other CCaaS only platforms is that all the calls are actually running on the RingCentral network. And that provides a great telephone experience. You're going to have better quality of service. You're going to have better audio quality because you're going over our carrier network. But it's also going to lead to lower cost because by running over the RingCentral network in North America, and actually a lot of places in Europe as well, any inbound call coming in to a local number goes over RingCentral and therefore is free. It's not metered as an extra cost. In North America, any manual outbound call from a contact center agent back to a customer is also not metered. That's a free call. And then we have very competitive rates for inbound toll-free that we can extend to you as well. So we see anywhere between 30 to 50% savings from customers when they go to a RingCentral contact center solution because of that global telephony. We're going to give you the company-wide collaboration. We think that's very key, that the agents have the same tool set as the rest of the company so they can collaborate amongst each other, but also get that back office expert integration. And then you have that one vendor relationship. That's also very important. But we have that full suite. We're the UCAS, Gartner UCAS leader for RingCentral Office, and Nice in Contact is the RingCentral, which is RingCentral Contact Center, is the CCAS leader for Gartner, combined into one platform. Next slide, please. So why it matters, as I mentioned before, that 30 to 50% usage savings, much higher quality voice. By doing this, we can give you a quality and an uptime SLA, which when you think about it, what's the good of one without the other? If I have great quality, but I'm never up, that's a problem. And if I'm always up, but I have poor call quality, that's also a problem. With RingCentral, we can actually give you an SLA for both. You have that shared access for connected contact center. But one thing I didn't mention before was the Pulse notifications. So Pulse is actually using our open platform APIs to actually send notifications from the contact center into our collaboration tools. So if I want to send out a notification to the contact center or to people outside the contact center that SLAs aren't being met, that people are, there's too many calls backed up, we need more agents to log in, whatever it might be. It could even be a good thing. Hey, we handled a record number of calls today, everybody, great job. Pizza's in the break room. We can use Pulse to send those notifications. And then there's that one vendor relationship. As I mentioned, up to 20 vendors goes to one. You have one support number. There's no finger pointing. We offer simplified pricing, simple sign-on, and we also can, at being a carrier, we can help you with global number procurement. Next slide, please. Here's a simple chart to show you some of the advantages that RingCentral Contact Center has over the standalone contact center vendor, which is actually, even our partner Nice in Contact can't say, is we offer those the integration, the outbound local calling is free, post notifications, those all get added when you make it a true RingCentral Contact Center. Next slide. We talked about some of these benefits before, but by integrating we're going to have a higher customer satisfaction rate, and you're going to lower your operational costs. So that's clear differentiators. That's what contact centers want to do, right? They want to improve customer satisfaction by lowering costs. RingCentral Contact Center helps you do both. Next slide. Increase first contact resolution, get faster answers to questions, escalate the video if needed. That's all the benefits of having it connected. Next slide. And this slide really shows that, kind of that day in the life, especially with people working from home. As an agent, she stays connected through team video calls using RingCentral Video. She can get help from the needs she needs on complex calls using our RingCentral app or GLIP. She can see which experts are available through their status. It's connected. All the dial plan is fully connected, so I can actually see in real-time presence. If I need to get Sam on the phone with a customer, she's available. I'm gonna go ahead and transfer the call to her or conference her in. I can even escalate the video once I do that to share my screen or have the customer share their screen. And then, as we talked about with Pulse, if an SLA drops, I can get notified on any device. It could be my desktop, it could be my mobile phone, send me an SMS, whatever it might be. So really, that's that day in the life of UCAS integration in action, I think is really typified there. Next slide. I know we're running over, so a couple of quick slides on our other products. And these are, there's a lot more to come with RingCentral Engage Voice and RingCentral Engage Digital. So I'm going to give it a bit of a short shrift here today, but there will be definitely times where we want to talk about these more, especially as we start adding some things to these companies. Both of these products were acquisitions of RingCentral, so they were brought into the fold over the last year and a half, and we're fully integrating them into the RingCentral Office platform. But RingCentral Engage Voice can do a lot of things. As you can see, it can be self-service and inbound, outbound. It can do scripting and analytics. We really position it today for most of our customers as an alternative to the RingCentral Contact Center, the Nice in Contact product, if they're primarily an outbound call center. So we do a lot of work with collections agencies, for example. And we've actually had one where we started out with trying to position RingCentral Contact Center, and we quickly realized that as good as Nice in Contact was, they didn't have the features they needed to make sure that this customer was compliant with their outbound calling. And obviously, as you may know, if you do any collections, there's a lot of compliance laws you have to stay attuned to, or else you could lose your certification. So RingCentral Engage Voice does that very well. We can do full TCPA compliance with this product, but it is absolutely still a very good inbound routing engine as well. It's completely web-based, and as you can see, it's actually getting more and more fully integrated into RingCentral Office all the time, where it will actually be a single pane of glass from a administration perspective. Next slide. Digital is really cool. This is, to me, this is the future of customer service. I think voice will always have a play, but I know as a consumer, even though I'm not no millennial by any means, this is the way I want to be able to do business. So I want to be able to connect on Facebook Messenger, via YouTube, via WhatsApp. We see that all the time with our global customers. Apple Business Chat is coming. Google Business Chat is coming. Twitter, Instagram. I mean, there's 21 actually different apps that RingCentral Engage Digital can manage, as well as the more traditional ones like internet messaging and live chat and email, all into one omni-channel agent interface. So if I have a work email address, I have a personal email address, I have a Facebook account, I have a LinkedIn account, I have all these different digital identities. Engage Digital allows me to collapse that into one identity so they know who they're talking to regardless of which channel I come in on. It also gives me a great history, almost like a mini CRM, so any agent can go in there and find that information. So it's a great tool that we can use to empower our customers who want to be able to handle digital interactions. We see a large uptick of this actually during COVID, because even though we all may have been sent home, people are still doing business and they want to be able to get in touch. And this is a great tool to make people productive at home, especially if they don't have the internet capacity to do voice calls. So Engage Digital is something that we're putting a lot of faith in. You're going to see some other highlights where we're going to start combining the Engage platforms into one in the future as another alternative to RingCentral Contact Center. But the great thing about this is that we have digital customers who are only interested in digital. Maybe they have a huge Cisco investment or a Avaya investment. They're not going to make the move to move all their voice communications to the cloud, but they do have a need to do with Engage Digital to move into the digital interactions. We can layer that right in. It doesn't require any phone at all. So we have RingCentral Office customers who our office call queues might be good enough for their voice interactions, but they need to have a digital routing engine as well. Engage Digital plays that part. So whether you want it integrated or siloed, we have a solution for everybody. And I believe, so RingCentral, putting it back all together, RingCentral customer engagement really comes down to 4 things. Number 1, we believe in the effortless experience. So for customers, we should always be on, it should be fast and personal. And in order to do that, for the agents, we need to make it so that it's easy for them, that they're informed and they feel supported. We believe in omni-channel, whether that's digital, inbound, outbound voice, it should all be coming into one agent interface so that I don't have to be managing multiple applications and multiple screens. Number 3, I think, is the key one. It has to be collaborative. We want to make sure that we're all on the same system. We have collaboration among teams and departments, access to the company address book, so I can easily bring in experts in and see if they're available for the phone. As an agent, I don't want to feel like I'm off on an island. And then everything should be built on anywhere architecture. RingCentral Office and Contact Center is true cloud. So this is software as a service. It's built on microservices architecture. So it's reliable and secure. It's flexible and global. And then as an added benefit, we're going to make sure that your calling rates go down because it's going over our carrier grade network. With that, I